guys, real quick before this video starts, I'm going to be doing my competition. It's going to be running from the 8th to the 15th of September. Send all submissions to coolcreaturestcg@gmail.com. It can be anything you want. It could be a design for a card, it could be an archetype, any idea. And I'm going to be picking the winners, if I get any, that is. And yeah, so that's just a real quick thing before the video starts. I'm waffling again, and anyway, enjoy the video.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another Dev Diaries. But today's going to be slightly different, we're doing deck profiles. So we have two decks here, we've got a Silverfang deck and a K-Bot Beatdown deck, which is kind of stall as well. So these are the two decks I'm going to be using in my battle video. I don't know when that'll be coming out. But yeah, let's just get into it. I've had some troubles with my camera, so that's why videos are taking a lot longer to come out now. I'm trying to get new stuff to make this easier, but it's taking a while, so I'm on the grind slowly, but yeah. So, let's just get into it. We've got 3 copies of K-Bot Yellow as our starting card. It possesses Twin Strike, which means it can get 2 damage off instead of 1, which is incredible. Because in Cosmic Kreatures, you only have 9 life, which makes it super easy for Twin Strikes to make quick work of you. So that's why I like running 3 of any Twin Strike. It doesn't have to be K-Bot Yellow, but I just like it because it's very nice for consistency. And on top of that, I've got 2 copies of K-Bot Black, which is like a negate. It helps slow down my opponent, and because I'm playing like a slower build for this and a stall variant, I've got a lot less of the cards I would run more of, and a lot more of the stall. So basically, I started making more staple cards. I'll go in that in a bit, but on top of that we have 2 copies of K-Bot Blue, which possesses Sneak, which allows it to attack its opponent directly, even if they've got monsters out. It still only does 1 damage, but it is very good at getting chip damage. It can throw your opponent off, and I like it because, for example, say your opponent's putting cards on the top of their deck, you're able to use this card to just attack, because I've realised I should probably do a rules video first, but, you know, we move. The way you take damage is you take the top card of your deck, and that goes basically face up in the damage drive. More on that in a rules video. We're not here to waffle about that, we're here to waffle about cards. So we got 2 K-Bot Whites. This card, it's good for consistency because it helps me draw more. I don't personally like it because it's more of a card for people that like draw power. Wait, is it finally focused? Yeah, there you go. It's more for draw power. It helps definitely with consistency, like I said, and it's just something that I like personally as a card. It helps build a better board than you can get in a turn 1. On top of that, we got 2 evolution cards, K-Bot Silver. Now, evolution cards, they are very good. I'll put it up to the camera now that I know I can actually do that. Yeah, that's not fully readable. That's going to look great. But evolution cards, essentially you can send 1 evolution card. If it's in your Necropolis, you can get rid of, so say these 3 are on my field. I can sacrifice all 3 of these to get him back out, and he gains strength. And I can do it with just 1 or 2, and it helps create more space on my field to use more cards in my hand. It's just a very good all-around card because you get strength out of it as well as clearing your own board to allow for plays. On top of that, we have 2 K-Bot Reds, which allows me to deal more damage by sacrificing a creature. It's just one of those extra cards which is pretty good in this deck because I'm using a lot more stall, and it helps without having to deal with creatures. So because this deck, actually I say it's mainly the strength's on the lower end, but the more I playtest with different decks I've got, the more I realise that these cards actually have a lot higher strengths. So maybe a stall variant should go in different variants, I don't know. But we also have 2 charged screens. It's a normal creature. This description here is just flavor text, and it's just in here because it's got nice strength and I like the look of it. So that's going to do it for the creatures. And on top of the creatures, we have our spells. Now we have 3 Power of K. This is the main card in the deck. It's incredibly strong. As you can see, the green's loading a lot better. And I really like it because it's the main card of the deck. It's how you deal your power and your damage. And plus, I think it is really good if it goes unnegated. It can destroy an opponent's entire board if you play it right. And it can also help deal with more problematic cards. I'll go over when I do the other deck profile in a minute why this card will win me games. On top of that, we've also got 2 copies of Vibrating Metal. It's an instant, so it's like your continuous spells in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it basically just gives the rest of my steel creatures strength for each steel creature I've got in my damage drive. Which basically just helps get more... It's the beatdown more side. And then we've got 2 K-Bot life cycles, because in this deck, or in this game rather, you go through your deck really quickly and you need ways to cycle your Necropolis back in. And having K-Bot life cycle really helps do it, because what I'm doing is I'm printing a lot more recycle cards to help people not lose from just getting decked out and playing the game. And then finishing up the spells, we have Amplifier. It's just a really nice staple. It brings me back to the days of when I played Tag Force 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! On the PSP. Because it's like Rush Recklessly, which basically, it's an instant spell which they work like snares, I'll go over in a sec. And it just gives 1000 strength to a creature, and it's just a really nice backup to have as like a fault plan. It works in the stall variants, it works when I want to attack. It does all the things I want out of a card. And that does it for the spells. Moving on, we've got the snares next. Also, I'm sorry for the camera quality, guys. I did not expect it to be this bad, but I'm trying to make it on a budget, basically. We make it work, we move. And then for the snares, now some of these are actually printed out. They're not all completely ordered yet. I am working on it. Obviously, I said that I hit 25 subs. We have hit 25 subs. I just can't do a pack opening yet, because I don't live in US of A. And if I live in America, I could order them, they'll come in a week. I have to wait for the shipment, which means they come in like 30 days. So, yeah, we're going to be waiting a long time. Anyway, we'll stop waffling, we'll get onto the snares. We're running 2 Mind Wipe, 2 Negate, 2 Phoenix Talon, and it's off screen, and 1 Fog. Now, I'll go over these individually. They're basically, the whole reason I'm running snares is they're like trap cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't think of equivalents in other games. I guess instants in Magic, and in Pokemon, they don't really have them. So, what Mind Wipe is, it's like your Mind Crush in Yu-Gi-Oh! So, as soon as your opponent adds a card to your hand from like an effect, so like searches their deck out, you can activate this and they're forced to discard it. You have Fog, which just negates your opponent from attacking, and it's just a nice card to have as a backup. Phoenix Talon, which brings back a creature that was destroyed this turn, so again adds to the stall element. And then lastly we have Negates, which do what the card says, it negates effects. Plus the artwork's really cool and I really like how it turned out. And that does it for the K-Bot deck. Now, usually, you know, you do one deck and then you go over some combos. No one knows how to play my games, there's no point in doing that yet. So we're going to do another deck profile. This is, a lot of these cards are unseen, so I'm really looking forward to showing them off. And this is going to be a first look at most of the cards. So this is the Woodland Mark and the Silverfang archetype. We've got 3 Cubs of the Silverfang. This is the kind of boss monster of the archetype. It only has 1000 base strength, but for every Silverfang in your Necropolis, it gains 1000 strength. And that's how this deck operates. It sends a lot of its cards to the Necropolis so that they can grow their cub, and it can recycle cub really easily. I'll show you some of the loops in my battle videos. Because I really like how this deck turned out. It works really well, and it beats a lot of the stuff I thought it wouldn't. Then we have 3, I need to remember these names, 3 Silverfang Lunalights. I basically haven't played with them, so I need to pick these up. And Lunalight's unique. It's got slightly weaker strength than usual, but what it can do is you can send, it's not on this card so there's no point in holding it up, but you can send 1 woodland creature to the Necropolis, as long as it is a beast type, to basically cast out any Silver Fang. So it's really good at playing with Cub. I need to check one thing. Okay, Cub can play by itself. So basically the rules of Silver Fangs is they only really get their effects if there's another Silver Fang. Except for Cub, that's what I was checking. So you do need another Silver Fang out for a lot of the effects, and this does help with that. But it also just helps build a really strong board. And then next we have our Silver Fang Ryoshi. Now, he has double edge. Obviously, I say he has double edge. It's only with these cards out. I cannot stress that enough. If you try and play it without, it won't work. Pretty well. Right, so what double edge does is it's similar to Twin Strike, but it lets it have 2 attacks. Now, when I was coming up with this idea, I was like, oh cool, it can attack 2 creatures. Then I realised it also works when it can attack directly. So, if your opponent's board is clear and you've still got a double edge, it can attack twice, essentially making it a Twin Strike, but it can also attack 2 creatures, which in my opinion just makes it really strong. So I kind of like running it. It's also one of the most bulky Silver Fangs. In fact, I think it is the strongest. Besides, obviously, Cub when it gets some cards on the Necropolis. And then on top of that, we got our ones that we're just running 2 of. We have 2 Hikaris. I think this is. Yeah, Hikari. Which is another Silver Fang card. It gets Sneak when there are 2. When there's 1 Silver Fang on the field, which allows it to do, like I said, with Cable Blue. 2 Dark Brights, which possess Extend, which allows it to draw 1 card if I control another Silver Fang once per turn. It's really nice and helps build my plays so I can get bigger boards, more stall. We love the stall on this channel, you'll see that. Then we have 2 Moon Glows. And this is kind of like, what's it, is it Lunar Light? I will remember the names, guys, don't worry. Yeah, but it casts a Silver Fang from your deck, but you don't have to pay a cost. It's just you can only do it when it's the only card that gets cast. And what this deck does is it likes to loop creatures. You'll see that with some of these cards. And then our like one-off thing we're playing. One, you might have seen the speed art for this guy, Cubic Duck, and he's one of the staples in all Woodland decks. I'll show you what in the rules videos. And it's essentially because you can loop this card. Now, I'm only playing 1, which is quite risky, but you can play like 2 or 3. Because if I take him as damage, I can't recycle in this deck. And if I can't recycle, I'm playing on limited resources. This card is so good, I can shuffle all my spells, snares, creatures I need. I can shuffle 2 cards in as well as himself, or I can just shuffle 3 cards. So he really does help my plays, and he essentially makes Cub a lot more viable. Because you can still get rid of Cub, like we saw with Cable Power. You can just destroy Cub. He's got no immunities. But with this deck, I'll go into that on the spells, you can loop a lot. And this guy just allows spells. Plus he's a target for Lunar Light. And what I mean by that is you can send him to the Necropolis with Lunar Light's effect. To bring out, not only do you bring out a Silver Fang, but you also get his effect to shuffle in. That's just a little sneak peek of the combos. Moving on to the spells, sorry for the camera quality again. We have 3 Accelerated Evolutions. What this card does is I can send basically 1 beast creature I control, so then cast another beast woodland creature from my deck. I think I can only use 1 of these a turn. Oh no. These spells give it another power, so this gives it Twin Strike, the creature I cast out, which is incredible, like I said, for that. And then on top of that, we're playing 3 Blazing... Don't remember the other part. Aspirations, there we go. We're playing 3 of these because this is essentially like a Soul Charge. Don't know the equivalent in other games, because like I said, I'm from Yu-Gi-Oh! I know a lot of the cards I can relate back to that. So what this card does is it allows me to instantly get back all my Silver Fangs that are in my graveyard back onto the field. I can get 3, because you can only control 3 creatures. Again, I should probably do a rules video. That would make a lot of sense. Let me know what you guys want to see. Yeah, but that's going to be fun on the channel. A lot more videos coming out, I will say that. But anyway, this allows it to cast as many beast types, but they gain Sneak, which is incredible in the game. Obviously, I said with Cable Blue, and earlier as well. These are the rest of the spells? Yeah. And then we're playing 2 Amplifiers, because it works better in this deck. It doesn't have many ways of beating down. So it does need 1 extra boost, which allows it to do a lot better. in the ladder, I'd say. And then as for snares, we're playing the generic snares like you saw in the other deck, which are running 2 negates, 2 Phoenix Talons, and 2 Fogs. And that's going to conclude the deck profile. The only reason I'm not running Mind Wipe is because it's a lot more. This deck's made to be a lot more simple than the K-Bots. It's not really looking back on it, but I like it. So let me know what you guys think in the description. I'll probably be. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. This is not a good video. So anyway, guys, let me know which deck you prefer. Is it the K-Bots or the Silver Fangs? I'll probably be releasing both as starter decks soon. I've just got to draw some more concept arts for the users of the decks. So I'm going to try and release something to get hyped about. I'm going to try and release like a cartoon little thing. Obviously, the drawings probably won't be the best, but I'm going to try and make it look good. It was going to work something like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, that kind of format. Didn't mean to do that. But yeah, basically my camera cut out as well, so this is why we have to do the outro this way. But anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video. Be sure to subscribe, like, share the video, because I need to gain traction, and I'll see you in the next one.